So now let's introduce you. Well, I'm not sure if I actually need to introduce him, but let me at least say a little some words about him. So our next speaker, I have the pleasure to have been working with him for the past year. And it's my ultimate pleasure to welcome Professor Falk Uebernickel on the stage, who will be sharing a little bit about the history of the Sugar Network that he has. He is the co-founder, the co-chair of the Sugar. And well, I'm really looking forward to hear from you, Falk. Please welcome on stage.
Good morning, everyone. So thank you for the brief introduction, Daniele, and thank you especially to Albena, Daniele, and Maya for making it happen and to guide us through the entire day. So, but before I would like to start with my quick snapshot about sugar, I would like to introduce you to the sugar battle cry, maybe. And usually we are using, or we are doing it in the real world by just lifting up our hands and really crying sugar. Since this is hardly to manage online, I would recommend that we are trying to use the chat. So on 3, we are trying to practice the sugar battle cry by just typing in sugar or whatever you can imagine about sugar on the chat. And let's see if we get as much as response as possible in the chat. So on 3, 1, 2, 3, get ready. Ooh, yeah. Cool. So whenever we are asking you to do the battle cry, so do exactly that. It looks perfect. Maybe next time you can include emojis as well. So perfect. Good morning and good afternoon, wherever you are. I saw a lot of people joining from Asia and Europe, but maybe some folks from the American continents are joining us as well. And maybe let me start with explaining where sugar comes from without saying too much, because Sushi Suzuki will have later on, I think, a more funny and pleasant intro to the wording as well. So, but nevertheless, you might have wondered, why do we call ourselves sugar? And the first thing that you might think of is, okay, sugar. It's something that's sweet. It's a sweetener that I might put into my tea or coffee every morning. But it's not that. So then you might think about candies, right? So everything that tastes delicious, and hopefully you're not eating too much of it, but nevertheless, it's tasty. But it's also not about this. It has a complete different origin that is maybe in the first step hard to get and hard to realize. But there's one person whose fault it is, or who's basically was proposing why we call ourselves sugar. And I think he's not here in the room right now, but he's living in Melbourne, and he's also closely related at the moment to the Design Factory in Melbourne. But he originally comes from Colombia and was being a teacher at Javeriana University for a very long time, together with Maria Camacho. And his name is Carlos Serrano. And when Carlos and Larry Leifer, also, I mean, you might have heard Larry already, was thinking about a sugar or a design thinking movement. Basically, Carlos was referring to a very interesting woman living in the Spanish-speaking part of the world. Her name is Celia Cruz, and maybe some of you know her. And you can find a lot of videos about her on YouTube as well. And she's a bit crazy. And whenever she is seen on a video, and whenever she is basically initiating a shout out, she's saying a sugar. And she said, this is the best shout out you can do, basically, to motivate people. So an sugar means sugar. And since we had to establish the Sugar Network in 2011 quite fast, the best thing we could do was to remember on Carlos' proposal, and then we just grabbed this word sugar. So it's not an acronym of something else, so it doesn't stand for anything. except for us and maybe the candy. So this leads me to our first meeting that we had in 2011, and here you're seeing a part of the teaching team that was organizing the sugar event in 2011. And this was the first time when sugar went really, really global. For sure, the ideas around that, they were generated a bit earlier. Sushi will talk about it. It was around 2008, 2009. But in 2011, we had the first possibility to assemble as a global community and to join forces between a lot of universities. And at that time, just to give you a snapshot, universities like Aalto University in Finland, KIT in Japan, then Trinity College in Ireland, Havaiana University in Cali, they were all present at that time already. So those are really long-standing partners, and a few more. And we got founded based on this idea that we want to make project-based learning based on design thinking and human-centered design accessible to everyone, to every student on the globe. So we always had this philosophy in mind to create a lot of access to people. And we started fairly small. I think we were only 40 people in that room, maybe a few more, but not really more, including all the teaching team and the organizers. So it was a much smaller group of students who participated at that time. And the first initial kickoff was basically at Palo Alto in California. So this is where we now at the moment. So we grew very much from a smaller group of universities and just a few partners into a global network, into a real global movement, as Larry Leifer has imagined at that time. And at the current moment, we're joining 26 universities on 4 continents. Unfortunately, we still don't have a huge presence on the African continent, but I say it every year, we are trying to do our best to get involved our friends there as well. And every year we educate between 140 to 180 students from all the continents, and we are connecting them. And one of the main results of this connection is, to be honest, friendship and appreciation for each other. And I think this is even more important in our difficult times, as you follow maybe the politics around the globe. This is what we can always rely on. If we appreciate each other and if we see the value in every one of our community, in our global community. And this is what I love so much also about the Sugar Network, that we are not just doing projects within countries. No, we are doing it cross-international, intercultural, and that leads to a profound understanding of us as human beings. So, but I'm not by myself in organizing and running the show of Sugar. There are many more people behind the network, and I just want to quickly say a few words about the people here on the screen, because this is the team that is setting the direction and the strategy where Sugar is going to. This is on one hand side Li Zhang, he will talk in a minute. Then Maya, it's Matteo, not just a faculty, but really a good friend, working from Italy at the University of Bologna. Then Christine Tong, also a good friend, and she's hopefully joining from Melbourne. Then Katja Otto, also a good friend and colleague working at Aalto University. Gerhard from KIT in Germany. So don't get confused, there are 2 KITs joining, so one in Germany and one in Japan.
Also a good friend.
Yeah, and friend. And then also Kevin, I didn't see you on the chat, but I'm sure you're also here with us. Also a good colleague and friend of all of us, working at Trinity College as professor. And thanks to you all, we never got derailed over the last 9 years. We always stayed on track, and we always kept our promise to the students that they get a great experience, even in difficult times. So thank you to you all, and I know everyone is contributing as much as you can. So, but as Daniele said in the beginning, all this would never be possible without the corporate partners. And I'm not just saying this because of the potential money flows that come from the corporates. For sure, they are important. But what is much more important about the corporate partners is that you bring in the spice. You give us the possibility to not just do an artificial lecture with some crazy ideas that might come from even more crazy professors. No, you bring in the real world challenges that are inspiring us and that are motivating us to work on those challenges. So therefore, I can just say thank you for your tremendous support over the last years, and I'm sure the support will be even better this year because you're also aware what it means to be the entire time online and maybe in the home office. So thank you for being with us today. Thank you for trusting us, and also in those difficult times to give us all the support for making such a program possible. Thank you. So, and then, I mean, you're part of all these organizations, or of at least one. Just to show the logos again, it's always a great pleasure to work with that many universities. And as you can imagine, some unis, they are on mute this year. It's because of the situation, but we are in all good contact with everyone here, including the ones who might not join actively this year, but they are at least virtually with us. So yeah, and maybe one last figure here to mention, since Sugar is running since a couple of years already, we have more than 1,500 Sugar alumni. And I can encourage everyone strongly, not just to look around yourself when you need help, but ask your teaching team, ask the Sugar community, ask the Sugar alumni for help. And at least the students that went through my personal education at HBI and at my former school in Switzerland, I know they respond quickly, and almost everyone is responding and is willing to help. So take this as a motor for your own projects to get help, maybe to get inspired, to get outside views on your challenges. So just actively contact your teaching team. I'm sure they know how to contact with and how to establish the contact to an alumni member. Okay, so what is a Sugar project that you already might have started or that you are starting today and the next days? Basically, the intention of a Sugar project is to teach you methods and to give you the possibility to apply your theoretical knowledge that you might have learned already in your university classes in a project style. So we give you a project, and this needs to be finished in 9 months, and it's very much hands-on, and it gives you the possibility to apply everything that you have learned or that you might learn in other classes at the university. And for example, your engineering courses can be applied, your business administration courses, your design courses, or computer science courses. Everything can be brought to the table depending on what you're working on. And it is an international setup, so each university has picked a partner university for each of the projects. And this makes it possible to get in different perspectives, but also for you as student, it opens the door for working internationally and to see all the complications that might happen when you work together with different cultures. And believe me, the same complications and challenges we have to deal as sugar board as well, right? I'm a German, and my other colleagues are from, except Gerhard, from different countries, and all this is very helpful to make you a more robust, a more resilient person, and we hope that we can prepare you for what is expected from you in the future when you join your work life or your academic career. So what are the 4 pillars of the sugar pedagogy? So first of all, and this we will start off today already, we will teach you on human-centered design. And this is of utmost importance because sure, we'll believe in technology and in technological innovation. But what we also believe in is that even the best technological innovation will not fulfill its goal if it's not human-centered. And there are so many big challenges to solve on this planet, like the sustainability problem, like the climate change problem, etc., where we need to anchor the human being in everything that we do. Because if we are not part of the solution, my personal belief is that we will not change the world. And therefore, what we want to convey to you is that every innovative progress that we make on our globe has to incorporate the human being and us, to be honest. And this will be prior number 1 when we look at sugar's pedagogy. So the second thing that we hopefully get along with is the interdisciplinary approach. So interdisciplinary can be seen like this Venn diagram. We try to push you into a situation that might feel uncomfortable in the beginning, because as a business guy, you might need to talk now to an engineering lady, right? Or to someone working in design. And for sure, in the beginning, it might be cumbersome, and it might be time consuming to find a common point, but this plurality of knowledge will boost you, and we're sure that you will find the value quickly within your team with this interdisciplinary team setup. The third pillar is that we have drafted teams that are genetically globally distributed. And I mean, even if your counterpart team is within the same country, believe me, it is interesting to work in such constellations, and yeah, to bring in knowledge from different cultures, from different perspectives. So that will boost your challenge, even again, if it feels a bit cumbersome in the beginning. And then, as I said before, with the corporate partners, you will work on real challenges. So nothing is artificial, everything will be needed. And at least to my knowledge, every challenge will create an impact if you are able to understand the problem precisely, and if you are able to find a proper solution. So I can strongly encourage you all to get into all of this. So let me quickly through some of the results that happened over the last years, and there are many more. One of it is this project here that has been done with KATJ, so our Japanese friends in Kyoto, and Design Factory in Melbourne. It's called Weibo. It was, at least to me, I mean, it's a personal thing, right? Was one of the most funny gadgets I ever saw. It was a skateboard for the water, basically. So you stand on this board, and then you can hover around on the ocean without having the need to have a sail, right? And it's basically a Segway on the water. And it got implemented and acted out, so you can even buy it. Was a great project, and I see Zushi already sharing the link in the chat. So if you have time, click on it. And it was hilarious when the team was setting up this prototype at the final event. So they really brought that UFO-like looking thing with them, and it worked. I mean, I was not able to stand on it. I was a bit too stupid to do it, but it was great. So then another great achievement to mention, and if you want to learn more about it, please get in contact with either Kevin Kelly from Trinity College or Eduardo from USP. They have invented the user interface or designed the user interface for what is called Stevie the robot. And this innovation even made it, and I think this is one of the greatest achievements you can get as a scientist, but also, I think, also as an average person, right, to be mentioned on the Time magazine. So that's not a fake, that's real. So it happened in 2019, and we are really proud of you, Kevin and team, and here Eduardo in the background and Kevin are shown on the picture, very much serious looking. Don't know why, but usually he's smiling much more. If you want to learn more about the robot, just get in contact with the two universities. So that was also a great achievement for sure of all the students who are behind that project. So here we see another user testing even, right, in a real situation. So, and then maybe a last project that was done together with TUM in Munich and also University in St. Gallen. It was called WAVE, and WAVE was basically trying to redesign the interior of autonomous cars. And what they have done is basically to find a solution that was dealing with motion sickness. So they found a proper way to extend the period of time that you get motion sick in a car, in a self-driving car. And here again, if you want to learn more later on, just get in contact with me or with the HBI teaching team. They can guide you to the right person to talk to. So as you see, just from these three examples, and believe me, from all the universities, we have sparking examples. Most of the students were able to create an impact and to come up with solutions that either got implemented by their organizations or that got a patent on it, or even a lot more were even able to start their own companies based on such ideas. So let me summarize quickly. As you see, sugar is not just something artificial. It is made of people, of us as a community. It is made of real companies and real challenges, real problems, and you will work on real projects in that setting. And we as a teaching team, so we're a similar community this year, we help you behind the scenes. So you can always trust all of us, no matter at what university you are, that we will help you. We are all sitting in the same boat. This is not the typical lecturer-student relationship where we just look at you and try to grade you. Yeah? No, we are sitting in the same boat, and we are all driven by the same passion, by the same motivation that we want to move and move things forward. And yeah, we're the teachers for you, and you can always get in contact with us, also across the universities. It's just your passion that drives us. In that regard, just thank you, enjoy the next days, and enjoy the next weeks and months. So there will be much more to come, and the sugar community will provide you with more kind of events and community gatherings. And let's hope that we have, hopefully by mid of next year, the chance to see all of us together in a physical format. So let's not give up that dream, okay? We need to dream about it. So in that regard, thank you. Also, thank you to all of my colleagues. And now I hand back to Daniele and to Albena. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Falk. This was very insightful. And as a new joiner in the community, I was very interested to hear more about the network.